My name is Juan Hernandez. I'm new to Church Southland. I have been coming to Southland since the second week Chino campus opened. Growing up, God was mentioned around my house here and there, but never attended church. Nor did I seek Him. After having a near-death experience at age 4 years old, my parents brought me to the U.S. from Mexico. Doctors told my parents I would never be able to speak or be the same if I survive. Part of the front of my forehead had a severe injury. The doctor stated only a miracle would save me and asked my parents to start saying their goodbyes. Well, that miracle happened. I survived, and shortly after, my parents brought me to the U.S., where I grew up, and had many problems with my speech. But through the grace of God, I was able to gain my speech back through therapy, and I was determined to become a welder at a young age. I competed for the Skills USA as a welder and won 5 years in a row as top welder for the state of California. I was proud of myself and couldn't believe that times in my life I had done the whole opposite of what doctors said I would never be able to do. Without me knowing, God had already been working in my life. I went through a second near-death experience with a drunk driver hitting my company truck and killing the driver that was right behind me. It was such a traumatic experience that it was the beginning of a long sleepless night. I began dating my wife, and she began to speak to me about God. She invited me to church, and we began to attend church. We got married, and our family grew. My wife left her career in law enforcement to come help me fulfill my dream of opening a welding shop. So our journey through the business began. Life seemed to be going great when Sonny got hit with another hardship. The business was falling apart and felt like I was failing my family as a man. I wasn't providing as I should, and soon started to feel hopeless. I knew it was time for us to go back to church, but not just a church, somewhere where we can grow spiritually. My wife was in contact with a good friend of hers from Southland, which invited us to the new campus. We decided to attend the second week it opened. I was invited to the men's cell group, and I was introduced to Danny. During that week before cell, I had been speaking to Danny, and I was excited to attend cell. After attending cell that night, I felt like I was a changed man. My cell brothers prayed for me, and I felt spiritually blessed. It felt as if whatever I was going through was gone in an instant. I knew God had placed me in this cell group. I told them everything I was going through in my life and struggles and battles. When I first got prayed, my cell brothers, I saw a light and I felt God's presence in the room. In the moment, I knew the Lord just wanted me to believe and have faith. After that night of prayer in my cell, I knew something in me spiritually had changed. I felt peace, hope, and joy. I knew the Lord had begun working throughout my entire life. I knew the Lord kept me alive ever since my accident as a child. That night of prayer was the Lord speaking to me as to why I'm here. And He has kept me alive. I have a purpose, and God has plans for me. Jeremiah 29:11. I want to continue to trust Him and believe Him no matter what the situation is. The following week, work was picking up. We got new clients, new doors open. I felt so blessed by God, and I just looked up and thanked Him. God for all He has done. I continued to attend cell group. I told my cell brothers that God is good and thanked them for praying for me. God answered my prayers. I'm also grateful that by me coming to cell group, it opened my heart to invite others to seek the Lord. A few weeks ago, I asked my cousin to come to cell with me. He attended once, and now he is part of my cell as well. We all go through problems, struggles, disappointments, and hardship in life. But just having those brothers that will back you up in a prayer and check up on you, you are going through rough times in life, reminding you God is with you. It hits differently spiritually. I'm blessed to find a church and a group of brothers that are supportive and treat me like a blood brother. Before I went to the cell group, my relationship with the Lord was at a stop. I know God has plans for me. I know that being in a cell group has brought me closer to the Lord. I still struggle at times, but it feels great to be able to just pick up a phone and text one of my cell brothers, and they are ready to pray for me, just to hear me out.